All right, guys, this is part 2 of a 2-part interview with Drew, the community manager of Clash Royale. So in case you missed yesterday's video in part 1, you don't have to watch that one first, but it's a lot of great stuff about 2020 and kind of where they are right now leading up until today's video, where we're going to talk about where they'll be heading, right? So what is in store for us in 2021 in terms of a roadmap. We talk about some kind of, big, I guess, thematic ideas on where the game is going, not a ton of specifics. But hey, I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Love your feedback. We'll read all the comments. Without further ado, let's jump into part 2. Yeah, let's talk about the future then, because I mean, between like a 2v2 ladder, fixing challenges, all the things that we've been kind of mentioning for a while in the community, what can you tell us about, the, 2021 roadmap, if anything right now? Any exclusives for me, Drew?
I'll try and keep it vague so that the rest of the team don't get mad at me. But so we basically
the team they tune out after 20 minutes. So it's just me and you. Let's just.
It comes out about like this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't watch these. It's fine.
No.
I'm joking. Actually, like quite a lot of them do watch these, and they're always like, "Hey, did you see this video Ash made on like why matchmatching sucks?" And I'm like,
"You're like, no, I don't care what that stupid idiot's saying now."
Yeah, exactly. We've already had our big like planning session for next year, so we've got our like 2021 roadmap. I think kind of going back to like how like the challenges we faced in 2020 was not having this kind of we had like a solid plan, but it kept like stretching and moving, and we want to be like really like on it next year. So we basically like a really high level, and don't hold me to this. Anything I say after this point is pure conjecture. No, it might not happen, but it might. But the plan is to do like an update every quarter, like following Clash of Clans model, because we do want to keep like updates coming in the game, like more often than this year at least. And we've also got like specific things that we want to fix, or like not fixed, to like address in each update as well. So just like really high level, like we want to add like in no particular order. We do want to sort out the progression. I think actually that's like definitely going to be the first update we do, is going to be like adding new stuff to the game that will help you progress easier. So that's like a big thing that we really want to focus on, just to like help people just be able to play with more cards and like play without these kind of like issues that we hear a lot of, which is like the matchmaking problems and like over level players on ladder and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like, okay, well, we're going to make it so that you can just like play with loads of stuff, and really help with the progression there. Then we also want to kind of make like seasons and Pass Royale. We want to like change them a bit. It's kind of like since seasons were launched, like people have expected like each season to be like an update, but that was never like really that was never the goal of seasons. It was to keep a nice way of progression in the game with Pass Royale, and also like add some like nice visuals and like change it up a bit with like new game modes and stuff. But it kind of feels like we kind of did ourselves a disservice by kind of doing this, like doing a couple of seasons that are like really big and like like Shocktober, and then like the original like the Flood and stuff, but then like having like like an off season, I guess, with like a legendary season, and so we basically want to like fix the seasonal thing, maybe make it like 2 months, or like Brawl Stars kind of thing, or like something like that, or just look at the format and see how we can make it better. And also then like look at Pass Royale and see how we can make that better for like the free players as well. Like the free rewards are very like static, like they're all like the same chest, so we want to like make some changes there, and just kind of make it a bit more interesting to progress through that. And also like kind of like dispel the notion that each season is like this massive game-changing thing, because we want these more regular updates to be like, hey, like this update is like going to be like 3 seasons long or something, and in these 3 seasons, and then we want to like do like more customization and stuff, like maybe revamp star levels so that you don't have to be max level to use them, and different types of skins and stuff, and like stuff like that. And then I think like the big one is we want to add like a brand new gameplay hook, I think one of the main feedbacks that I've really taken on board this year, and like there were a few of us on the team like really pushing for in our roadmap, was like new gameplay. Just like I think like Clash Royale is like, I know I'm biased, but I think it's like, you know, the most solid Supercell game in terms of like the core gameplay. I think it's like, yeah, it's like chess, like that kind of like game that can be played for like thousands of years kind of thing.
Yeah,
and I think
even if you feel like you're sick of the game, like, or even if you're not super into it, you'll still sit down and play a match or two. Like, you know, like even if you're not like really feeling it, you're just like, before bed I'm just gonna play some Clash Royale.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know? Yeah,
and it's like it's like a really well made game, like in just in its basic form. So I think like, but I also feel that we've maybe relied on that a bit too much and like not innovated as much as we could have. So next year, like we basically want to add like with each update like some new gameplay and basically like new, just change it up basically. It's been the like, you know, don't quote me on this, but you know, it's been the exact same game for 4 years. Like how can you change it and stuff like that? And I think we definitely took that to heart, and we do want to make those changes. I think Brawl Stars are a great example of like adding the fun back in. Like people like a common thing I see online is like, you know, like, oh, I don't care about like progression or fixing stuff, just make the game fun again. And it's like, yeah, that's totally like valid feedback. I can agree with that. Like, and I think Brawl Stars proved that with its like map maker. Like, I just play those maps all the time, and they're so stupid and like so fun. Like, and it's kind of like, you know, it's like when you play Call of Duty and you just play Shipment 24/7, and you're like, hey, this is like this isn't like Call of Duty, but it's fun. It's just really good fun, and I enjoy it. And yeah, I think that's one of our goals, is just to make the game like add these new gameplay features that are really fun, and then we also want to add this like big gameplay feature. You know, like not saying too much, but yeah, your wildest ideas will maybe like come true. And like, yeah, we're thinking of basically adding like a whole new like gameplay mechanic, like hook kind of thing, to like maybe like, you know, like the end game, like, you know how Clash of Clans has like a new town hall and stuff like that, and it adds this like really cool and like loads of new opportunities for upgrades and stuff like that. So we kind of want to like do something like that for Royale as well. Yeah, that's kind of like our high level roadmap. I think that could probably be a video in itself. That's totally,
right.
I've had my permission to use like clickbait, like roadmap reveal 2021.
I like that. You're thinking like a creator now. I like that. Yeah. Okay. So where to start there, man? I mean, okay. So you kind of you high level alluded to a bunch of like potential cool things coming to the game, but let me ask you about a couple of specific things. You know, you don't have to. Are we ever going to see heroes in the game? Is that a possibility? Let's say, or is that dead at this point?
Even on the team, it's like become a bit of a meme at the moment. Because like every time there's like a suggestion, like especially it's even funnier now on Zoom because like everyone's muted and then someone will unmute and be like heroes kind of thing. Like when we're coming up with new ideas, and I think like heroes are cool, but what are heroes, right? It's like, what does that mean? Like it could mean different things. So yeah, I mean, like we're not like opposed to it, but there isn't like a heroes thing. Like we did actually do some like dev work like about a year or two ago, and we actually made these hero cards and like put them in the game and played them and stuff. But then it just kind of became about like it just changed the game too much. It wasn't really fun. It was like, what's the point if you've got like this massively OP card that just like ruins the game basically? So
how did it work? Could you only use them like once per battle? They weren't in your normal 8 cards back when you guys were testing them out?
It was kind of like it was kind of like you could play it like Dark Elixir was generated, and then like at a certain point in the battle, like you could put your hero down, and then like, but then it would just be like mad OP, and it was just kind of like, okay, it's like kind of fun, but it's kind of like not fun because you just both people have this insane card. Like yeah, there's like there's this Warhammer game that I play called like it's like Realm War, and they've got a really cool mechanic where like the towers actually like have an ability and stuff, and I really like that idea. And like, so I think like that's kind of more the thing that we might be aiming towards, like sort of like something where like you're like it's not like a card you place, but maybe it's like, you know, kind of like in Brawl Stars when you have like power ups and like that's kind of like where we're at the moment. But again, it's like I don't think like that's not heroes, you know what I mean? It's like I think like there's like you could obviously skin it however you want, but I think like we always hear about heroes, but then it's like we don't actually know what heroes are or what they're ever going to be. So yeah, I wouldn't say heroes would be coming, but yeah.
What about
it might work? Yeah.
I think the number one request right now in the community seems to be 2v2 ladder. or some sort of a 2v2 grand challenge or competitive mode or something. Like, you know, is that even possible? And is it potentially, you know, on the radar for the team?
Yeah, I think like I would like to see a 2v2 ladder. I think it'd be really cool, but I also think like you have to like weigh it out, like the pros and cons, I guess. Like one of the things that like I think that we discovered from like the last like Clan Wars thing, where we found like less than 1% of people play 2v2 in Clan Wars 1. So we were kind of like, then like if that's like true there and that's kind of like competitive, like is there a point doing like a whole update based around a 2v2 ladder that like 1% of people would play? I know it's not the same, but that's the kind of stuff you have to think about. Like, yes, it's a really cool idea. But
do a lot of people
how does it work?
Play 2v2 in general compared to like say ladder?
I'm not off the top of my head. I don't have the stats for that.
Yeah.
But like, I think like, I think because it's a casual mode, it's more popular than it was in the Clan Wars kind of thing. And I think like, I think it's like similar split between like party modes and 2v2 kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I also like, I used to be like a big StarCraft 2 player, and me and my mate used to like play 2v2 like ranked like all the time, and it's really cool like having that kind of like duo system. I think that's really, really fun. Yeah. And I think it would be awesome for Clash Royale, but you might spend a lot of dev time in this thing, and then like it ends up that nobody really wanted 2v2 apart from like the pros, and the pros aren't the majority, and then it's kind of like, you know, it's just balancing it out, and that's always like the tricky thing when it comes to these updates. I think something that we learned from Star Levels actually that we want to take into our big content updates next year is that we want to make stuff that's actually inclusive for all players. Like you work on this project and you do like, hey, like only max level people can use it, and then it's like okay, well that cuts out, you know, like
like 99% of your player base. Yeah.
So it's kind of like whatever we do, we kind of wanted to reach the masses, because like, you know, as much as people, I don't know, I always hear that we care too much about pros, but we also care too much about casuals, and it's like
pros say you care too much about casuals, and casual players say you care too much about pros.
But it's like it's like it seems that way because we care about both like equally. You know. So,
well, I know we're going long here, Drew, but I feel like this has been a great chat, and I just have two quick questions to end this one out.
Yeah, cool.
One is going to be on kind of victory challenges and private tournaments. You know, like, one could argue that both are kind of at a low right now, you know, because victory challenges, grand and classic challenges are, you know, not as populated. And it seems like, whether it's true or not, that it's like all these pro players or pro caliber players in grand challenges. And right now, that's probably the best way to actually level up your account to play those. So in private tournaments, like, they're kind of, a lot of people probably forgot they're in the game, you know? So between those two things, do you guys have any like immediate plans, or, you know, is there anything, again, kind of in the works to, you don't have to share what they are, but to kind of address those?
Yeah, like nothing like immediate. Like, as I say, like next year we will be like, we've got our roadmap, but we haven't had like our like development sessions yet. So what is actually going to go into each update is going to be like, you know, it's still like under discussion. So I think it's just kind of like focusing on like, maybe if now we have this like new esports CRO like initiative, like maybe that will make more people play grand challenges because they want to level up their cards and stuff like that. So that might maybe fix itself, but if not, I think it still needs like, there's still something there that needs to be like done to maybe like, you know, I see a lot of good stuff about like stuff like challenge tokens in Pass Royale and stuff like that, and that could help. It's cool. I wouldn't say like it's something that we like is like, oh my god, we must fix this like feature. But I think it kind of also is one of those things where like if you have a feature in the game and nobody's using it, like then there's an issue. So
even if you tweak the rewards from like grand challenges, like, and made them whatever 50 or 60% what they are right now, and just bumped it down to 50 gems. Like, I don't know this for a fact, but my intuition, I'm not a data scientist certainly, but my intuition would be that, you know, way more than double the players would play, you know, so it would end up being beneficial to everybody. But, you know, it'd be kind of cool to maybe mess around with that a little bit in the challenge.
Yeah, like Seth did. Well, we did that thing where we put the two like queues in together, but then they like messed up. But we didn't really like that. Didn't work out. But that was like our original vision, was to like kind of like make these two, like, I think splitting them into two is also like not the best like way anymore. Like maybe it was, but maybe like just having like like this one singular challenge that you enter. It's like a grand classic challenge, you know, like something like that, and then that will automatically like make the pool bigger. But it remains to be seen.
My last question is something that I've never asked anybody at Supercell about ever, but these guys are a passionate group of players, and I figured I'd throw them a bone here because they're always asking me to ask you about them. But the level 1 community, Drew. So level 1 players who compete in this game has been going on since like the beginning of, and there's whole clans of level 1 people, and obviously it's fun for content creators and anybody to do. Some of the recent changes have made it difficult for them, in terms of just, accessibility, I guess, to the game. What do you think of level 1? Is the team like aware of the level 1 community, and what do you think about those guys and gals?
Yeah, I think it's like hilarious and amazing at the same time. Like, our QA guy has a level 1 account as well, and he really tries to that's like his struggle is getting that like level 1. I think it's like a really fun idea, but I think it's also like if changes affect you and you're like a level 1 player, like you have to kind of be aware that you're not playing the game the right way, kind of thing. It's like that kind of guy in World of Warcraft who like played the whole game without killing anything. Or it's like that's not how it's meant to be played. And so if you do come across problems, like they're probably very, very unique to you because you're playing it that way. I think that's just like a fact of life for these level 1 players. I think
So no level 1 a world record badge or a shout out.
I mean, that could be quite cool.
It could be cool.
Maybe when we do like our customization like update thing, like we kind of want to revamp player profiles and stuff like that. So maybe like I would love to have all these like goofy achievements and stuff like that in there. Like get a level 1 account to 5,000 trophies, stuff like that, would be really fun, I think. But outside of that, I can't imagine like any like in-game like special treatment for these guys. I do appreciate what they're doing though. It's really fun.
That's cool,
really fun to see.
All right, well, hey Drew, the last thing, not a question, but kind of a statement, is that I saw that you actually, I believe you kind of produce your own album or track or a song.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about this other side of Drew. You're a musician, obviously.
Yeah. Before I joined Supercell, I used to be in a band and stuff, and we toured Europe and did some other stuff, like nothing major, just
That's cool. I didn't ask your permission for this, but
it was really fun.
How can we check it out?
Oh yeah, so basically it actually during COVID, like me and my friend back home in the UK restarted up this little project that we used to work on when I lived over there. And so it's kind of been just a fun project just to keep us sane while we're locked in our houses. And it's called Crisis Run, and you can check it out on Bandcamp, and all the money goes to charity, a mental health charity in the UK called Mind. So, but also you don't need to give us money. It's free to listen, free to stream anywhere. Like you can stream on Spotify. I've got the track up there, but I would also we've got an EP / full length, kind of 90% done. But it's just alongside work and other stuff and not finding the motivation, and also the fact we live in different countries, it's kind of hard to organize jams and stuff. So
that's really cool though, man. I didn't know that the money was going to charity and stuff. That's really, really cool as well. I'll include a link for you guys if you want to check it out. I love music. It's my number 1 passion, outside of mobile gaming, of course.
Yeah, dude, same, man. Yeah.
So all right, well, hey man, we'll go ahead and wrap things there. Thanks so much for being so generous with your time. Anything else that we didn't cover? Or are we good? I think we're good, right?
I think we covered a lot of stuff. Yeah.
All right, sounds good, Drew. Well, guys, I'll include Drew's the music you can check out along with his Twitter information as well in the show notes below, along with the Clash Royale YouTube channel where you guys can see him on TV Royale. Drew, thanks again, man.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me on, dude.
No problem. All right, guys, that is going to do it. Big shout out to Stutts and Bren Chong, my YouTube partners, and thanks for watching.